Hey, everybody. It's Twin Peaks Tuesday. So, we're going to be talking about Twin Peaks. Season 1, Episode 5, Cooper's Dreams, aired May 10th, 1990. The opening is at the Great Northern in Cooper's room 315. We can hear loud singing. It's the Icelanders, and he's not happy. He's not happy at all about this singing. Uh, he's talking to his dictaphone, and he tells Diane that it's 4:28 a.m. and he asks her to send him some silicone earplugs. And I think it's interesting that he mentions needing them before when he was in New York, which I find an interesting link to season 3 because obviously season 3 has New York is a big part of it, and that's where they build the box and everything. So I don't know. There must be some kind of connection I'm going to be looking for there. The next scene is at breakfast, and Cooper is visibly in a bad mood. And the Icelanders are still singing, and they're in the room next to his I think they called it the smoke room, which I find kind of interesting because I think there's other references to smoke in this episode. Although I didn't write them all down because this episode was kind of packed, which is why I'm only doing one episode tonight instead of the usual two. Because this one it was just packed full of stuff. So I figured I would just do one this time. Um, anyway, so the Icelanders are in the other room, the smoke room, and they're being loud and singing. And I wonder when they're going to go to sleep. And Cooper probably wonders when they're going to go to sleep because it's funny that they're up at 4:30 in the morning singing when they probably should be, being a little kinder to everyone who is actually there and, uh, you know, trying to sleep in the middle of the night because, they're from a different country and the hours are different. Anyway, um, so Audrey comes in and she sits down with Cooper and she tells Cooper that she got a job. And he's not real impressed with this, but I think it's more because he's in a bad mood, not that he's not happy for her because I think he is happy for her, but it's not that he's in a bad mood. It is that he's in a bad mood. And then he interrupts her by asking her about why she's not in school on a Wednesday. I think it was supposed to be a Wednesday that day, afternoon or morning. And she doesn't answer. She just gets flirtatious with him. And she comes up and gets close to him and smiles. And then he asks how old she is. And she tells him 18. And you can see it in his face that he's tempted. He's tempted, but, he's smart and he knows better than to get involved with a senior in high school. Um, Skip to the next scene. You got Jerry and Ben, and they're discussing taking the Icelanders to One Eye Jack's in order to schmooze them for the sale of Ghostwood. Um, Jerry tells Ben that he's met this snow queen named Heba, and that he's in love with her, or Heba, I think it was. And she gave him a whole leg of lamb. More food references, which I find hilarious. And later on, there's going to be a reference, with donuts. Um, but it seems like food is a super important part of Twin Peaks. It feels like a lot of them are. A lot of the episodes focus on food. I don't really understand. Maybe it's a nourishment thing. Nourishment for the town, wholesome, but it's hard to know because then you've got, cream corn, which I find a perfectly fine food, um, associated with evil. So I don't know. I don't know what I think. Donuts are associated with good. Sweets in general are associated with good. Coffee is associated with good. I don't get the whole cream corn thing, but we'll get into that as the show goes on. Um, Leland walks in looking terrible. I mean, rough. And he tells Ben that he is going crazy and he wants to help with the sale. And Ben tells Leland to take some time off and tells him to take Sarah and go on vacation. And then Leland says he's afraid to, which I also find interesting because it makes me wonder if it's a sign of his guilt. If he knows that he's done something wrong, and he says that he's afraid to leave. What is he afraid to leave and go on vacation for? Because he's done something bad and he knows that they're going to find out, or that the cops will chase him down, or who knows. But I feel like it somehow is related to his guilt. Ben and Jerry plan to keep Leland from the Icelanders so he doesn't mess up the sale. And I think that's a smart move because Leland's acting quite crazy. The next scene is in Jock's apartment, and they mentioned that Jock used to be a lumberjack before he put on some weight. So he began bartending at the Roadhouse. I find that really interesting. Hi, Jonathan. Hope you're doing well. I saw your video, or I saw that you got baptized. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's awesome. So good for you for doing that. Where was I? Oh yeah, at the Roadhouse. He began bartending at the Roadhouse because it's funny that he was a lumberjack. There's so much connections with wood and spirituality. I think that maybe spirits, we already know that the log lady believes that the spirit of her husband is inside the log. So, and we know that Josie goes into that drawer pull, which is also made of wood. So I think maybe the wood is a generator of spirits, per se, some sort of holder for them. They live in it, possibly. I find that pretty interesting, considering David Lynch is always talking about wood, and it's interesting how he looks at it. Let's see. Cooper finds Flesh World hidden in the ceiling. So they also mentioned that they're looking for Bernard, and we know from last week that Bernard is dead and that Leo got him, and he showed him to Ben by that tree. So we already know that Bernard is long gone and out of the picture. Jacques hiding out somewhere, and I can't remember where he's hiding out, but as time goes on, I'm sure we'll find out where he was. The blood on Leo's shirt is AB negative. It's not Laura's blood. And it turns out that AB negative is Jacques' blood type. So they figure that that's Jacques' blood on the shirt. A few strange things I noticed in Jacques' apartment on the table. I noticed this pair of like silly glasses, the glasses that have those springy eyeball things that are, come out. What are they doing there, just sitting on that table? And then if you look over on the side, there's a hookah / bong sitting there. And I just find it funny because who would have known that there would be in 1990 any type of reference at all to smoking anything but cigarettes. I find that quite funny. I liked it. I never noticed it before either. And Cooper and Harry, when they find the Flesh World magazine, they notice a picture of Leo's truck in that magazine, cluing them in to Leo. Bobby and Shelley, next we go to Leo's house, and Bobby and Shelley are having breakfast, and Bobby tells Shelley that he loves her cooking, and she complains because Leo doesn't like her cooking, and he's always complaining about her cooking, and I don't know what she stays with him for. I don't get it. She's so foolish, and even all the way up through season 3, she's foolish. She should have stayed with Bobby. We all know she doesn't stay with Bobby, and it's a tragedy because I think Bobby is one of the best characters and probably would have been the best catch out of Twin Peaks. Bobby's cute. Let's see. Andy stops by looking for Leo, and Bobby hides in the back, and he hears it. So he knows that they found that shirt and that he's got Leo, wrapped up in this thing. Then the phone rings and Shelley answers it, and it's Leo. And Leo asks Shelley, has anybody, come looking for me? And she tells him no, obviously, because, her and Bobby had this plan going, to kill Leo, I believe. So she says no. Then it cuts to Big Ed's gas farm, and Norma stops by to see Ed, using the excuse that everyone needs gas, right? I find that adorable. She tells Ed that Hank got his parole and will be getting out soon. And then she tells him that she didn't tell Hank about them. And it's because he seemed so hopeful that she didn't have the heart to do it. So that brings him down a little bit. And then Ed tells Norma that Nadine isn't well, and he hasn't told her yet either. And then she remarks saying, "What are you waiting for me to go first?" And she's visibly upset, because you can tell that he looks down, and you can tell that he's not going to go for it because he feels indebted to Nadine. And we'll find out later on in the show why that is. She gets visibly upset, Norma, and she tells Ed, "Don't call for a while, okay?" And he agrees. It's just always bad timing with those two. I want them to get together, and it's just always bad timing. And of course, Nadine, the bane in Ed's existence, keeps on, being a thorn in his side. Hi, Sean. Hi, Joe Bob. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Let's see, where was I? Okay, next scene is Horn's department store, and Audrey's interviewing with Emery Battis for a job. And he tells her, Ben wants you in the wrapping department. And she just shakes her head and isn't having it. She's not having it at all. She looks at him and says, "Look, I am set. I have my heart set on the perfume counter." And she walks behind him. She gets up. She walks behind him. She's being very intimidating, like Audrey is. And she tells him, "If you don't give me what I want, I'll rip my dress, and then I'll scream, and I'll tell everyone that you basically sexually harassed me," even though that's not the word she used. I can't remember what word she used, but I wrote sexual harassment. So she tells him that, and his face is like, holy crap. And it's pretty awful of Audrey to manipulate people in this way. I mean, it's supposed to be over the top. It's supposed to be a parody of a soap opera. So it makes sense, but it's also just, she's just so, I don't know what the word is. Mischievous is a good one. Okay, so I wrote here that I love how Audrey manipulates her world. I do. I love how she manipulates her world. She's the class act. Mr. Jackpot has arrived. Let's see, where was I? Oh, the next scene is Donna in the park, and she's meeting James in the gazebo. And James looks pretty upset when she gets there, and he starts telling her the truth about his parents, that his father is an absent father, left him long ago, and the mother just couldn't handle it, and she became an alcoholic. And whenever she goes away on these trips, it's because she's shacking up somewhere with a bottle and men. And I find that just tragic, and I feel bad for James, even though you all know that I hate James, this character. I don't like his character. He's sappy and he's yuck, but I do feel bad for him about his mom. And it's good that he has Ed to take care of him then, because if his mom is always gone and doing these things, then it's just better off that he's with Ed, who seems to be a very decent person. The next scene, they go back to Jacques' apartment, and there is excessive donut porn. That's what I wrote. Excessive donut porn. Because they have this humongous plate of donuts and they focus on it for a really long time. And I'm trying to figure out exactly why donuts are so important. Is it the aspect of the sugar, the sweet? Um, what is it? What is it about it that's so wholesome that they make this the part of the good in Twin Peaks? Because I think donuts are bad. They're bad. They're bad for me anyway. Um, anyway, um, they notice the red drapes in the Flesh World magazine, and this helps them to figure out which ad is Laura's, because unlike Ronette Pulaski, who showed her face, Laura does not show her face. It's her shot is just a body shot. Um, but because of the red drapes in the background, they were able to pinpoint um, which picture was Laura, and that's because of Cooper's dream and the red drapes, which is hence why the episode is called Cooper's Dream. They decide to go for a walk in the woods to find Jacques' cabin, because this red drapes clues them in that Jacques' cabin has red drapes in it. The next scene is at the Double R, and Donna and James are meeting up with Maddie. And Maddie gets there, and they invite her to sit down, and James is, you can tell he's smitten, and you can tell Donna doesn't like it so much. She's got this jealousy on her face that kind of tickles me pink a little bit, because I don't like Donna's character a whole lot, because she's kind of a goody, and I don't know. I just don't like it. I like it better when she starts going a little weird, and when she puts on like Laura's sunglasses and she starts acting a little more like Laura, and she becomes a little more sultry. That's when Donna becomes like the Donna that I like. But when she's all goody and innocent, I don't like it. But she seems very jealous of Maddie with the way that he's like immediately like, can I get you something to drink? And I find it interesting that she asked for a cherry Coke. So there's the cherry. She could have just said Coke, but nope, they threw in that cherry. So goes along with the cherry pie thing. Maddie mentions that Laura had a secret hiding place in the bedpost, and that she would check the bedpost later that night to see if she left anything in it of note. And then it moves on to the next booth, and Hank's sitting there, and he is definitely eavesdropping on their conversation, which irks me. He's a creep. Man, that guy's creepy. Ugh, he is so ugh. And I feel so bad for Norma, because he's creepy, he's doing creepy things, and she has to deal with it. She can't say get the hell out. She has to deal with it. It's terrible. Then Norma and Shelley walk in after getting their beauty makeover, and they are way overdone, like way hair and, big buns up, too much makeup, way overdone looking, especially if you're going to go work at the Double R restaurant, it's a diner, and you're looking all like you belong in, As the World Turns, maybe. So I find that funny that they go and they get these major makeovers, and it's kind of ridiculous. I find it amusing. It's an amusing thing about the show. Hank surprises her, Norma, and asks her, he's in the booth, and he asks her, where should I start? And Norma tells him to start with the dishes. And she says it in a very, cocky way, which I think's funny, because he kind of deserves it. He's creepy, and she knows it. And if she can boss him around, she's going to boss him around, and she's going to put him on the worst job in the place, which is probably dishes. Although I think he should have to clean the grease traps in the toilets too. So that's what I think should happen to him. And she doesn't look happy. She looks very sad and very worried about the entire situation with Hank. And it's sad, because she wants to be with Ed really bad. The next scene, they go to Jacoby's office, and the Briggs family is there having their family therapy session. And Bobby asks Jacoby, because he's getting frustrated. With the situation, you can tell he doesn't want to be there. He's doing the whole teenager just laying around kind of thing while the parents are sitting up straight and, trying to make a show of themselves. And Bobby just doesn't want to play that game. So he asked Dr. Jacoby if he's ever killed anyone before, and then remarks that his father has. And Major Briggs gets very upset. He doesn't like this at all. And he defends his reason for it, which his reason for it is because it's part of his job, as a military officer, to have to shoot people sometimes. I find this question that Bobby asks really interesting, though, because because we've already all seen Fire Walk with Me. We know that right before all this, Laura's death, that Bobby did kill somebody in the woods. It was an undercover agent from Deer Meadow who was, he might have not been undercover. He might have actually been corrupt, because I kind of thought those cops in Deer Meadow are kind of corrupt anyway. They just didn't care about, it's sort of like the D version of Twin Peaks, like the coffee's crap, the food's crap, the people are crap, the people are mean and cocky, and it's sort of the opposite of Twin Peaks. Subversion. I kind of like that a little bit, but anyway, that's we'll talk about that when we get to the movie. But I do find it interesting that Bobby asked this question because he obviously is feeling guilt. And we know that he killed someone. So his question is his way of getting it out of his system, I bet. But I can't be sure on that. It's just my feeling that he's trying to get it out of his system. And I think Jacoby, being a smart psychologist, realizes this, because he says, hey, can I talk to Bobby alone for a bit? And, Major Briggs doesn't like this at all. He's like, no, I'm paying for family sessions. And then Jacoby, being the smart psychologist he is, says, well, I plan on doing, alone sessions with every one of you at one time or another. And so Major Briggs says, fair enough. And he gets up and they leave. And this is when Jacoby really lays into Bobby. And, he feels like he's getting nowhere with him. So, he decides that he's going to start asking him about Laura and about how Laura treated him, because he suspects, well, he knows, because we already know from hearing the tapes that he was listening to, that she just didn't have any respect for Bobby. And she thought Bobby was a pushover. She pretty much thought everybody was a pushover. And didn't talk very kindly about him. But I think deep down inside that she did love Bobby, because how could you not? How could you not love somebody who is willing to do so many things to keep you happy and to keep you safe and to keep you in supply, I guess. He literally risked his whole life just to supply her. And if that isn't love, I don't know what is. And I'll tell you what, I do think that she may have hated it. She may have had a little bit of a resentment and a hate for Bobby in her, but it was more because she hated herself. And Jacoby even says that. He tells Bobby, she hated herself. And that's why she did these things to other people, because she wanted to take out all her frustrations that she was feeling about her own life on others. And that's her dark side. And Bobby breaks down when Jacoby's telling him this and starts crying. And he tells him, yeah, she made me do these things. She made me. And in my opinion, this is the start. This is the start of Bobby's rehabilitation. This is the beginning of Bobby becoming a cop in season 3, because without this moment, he may never have turned that corner. I think it's Jacoby that's responsible for Bobby turning the corner and things getting better for him. The next scene is the walk in the woods. And unfortunately, my disc messed up here. I don't know if I got a scratch on it or what's wrong with it. That's why I took it out of the box that it came in. I put them in jewel cases because taking them in and out, sliding them in and out of the thing felt dangerous to me. And I was worried about scratching it. And obviously, I think it's got a scratch on it because it just stopped when it gets to the walk in the woods, and it wouldn't go any further until I tried to fast forward it a little bit to see if I could get it to go again, and it went all the way to the log lady. So I don't know how much in between there that I missed during their walk, but I know that they decide they're going to go to the log lady's house first, and she's literally out there waiting on the porch for them, and almost like she knew they were coming. And she said she was going to have, she had the tea on, she had the cookies ready, and they go in there and they sit down around the table, and she passes out, she puts the cookies down, she starts pouring the tea, and Cooper goes to grab a cookie and she smacks his hand and says, "Wait for the tea," which I love. I love that little quirky little thing that's in there. It's just so funny, and just goes to show you that even though, it seems that Twin Peaks is an awful lot about gluttony, there is some restraint there. And the log lady, she has it. I like that. So they go to her house for tea, and she starts to tell them what her log saw on the night that Laura died. And she tells them there was screaming, and that there was 2 men and 2 women, and that there was, I can't remember how all the things she said. Basically, she said that it was a stressful situation, and then that everything went quiet, and then there was another man, and that and then the screaming started again, farther away, farther away, farther away, and then silence. So she was basically describing, hearing Laura die. It's too bad nobody could have stopped it, huh? The next scene, they find Jock's cabin. They go for the walk in the woods, and they come across it, and they see the red drapes, and they know immediately that is his cabin. So they go in, and they see the red drapes. They see the record player going. There's always music in the air, and Waldo the bird's there. And that just goes right back to Cooper's dream, where he's saying, where we're from, the birds sing a pretty song, and there's always music in the air, which I think is fantastic. I love this little psychic angle that they go, for with Cooper. It's absolutely fantastic. They find blood, they find the twine, and the cuckoo clock spits out a broken casino chip from One-Eyed Jack's, and they know immediately that that's the piece that was missing from the plastic piece they found in Laura's stomach. The next scene is the Great Northern, and they're having the party for the Icelanders. And Audrey, she goes in her little cubbyhole and starts spying on Catherine and Ben, because Catherine shows up there with Pete and basically gives Pete the cold shoulder and takes off to go talk with Ben. And when they're in the room, Catherine asks Ben about the casino chip she found in his pants pocket. So she's obviously been checking up on what Ben's been doing when she's not looking. And he tries to play it off like it's nothing. Sorry, I think I got a hair in my mouth. All right. My hair is just flying all over the place. She slaps him 3 times, and Audrey's laughing at this, which I think is funny. But he doesn't seem to mind the slap. It almost turns him on, and that is so soap opera, don't you think? I mean, that has to be the most soap opera thing I've seen in the show yet so far, besides the outrageous makeovers. um, Audrey overhears them talking about burning down the mill. So Audrey is clued into this plan for burning down the mill. And I'm having a hard time. It's been a long time since I've actually watched the whole show all together. So I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what his role is, because he seems to be playing all sides. And I'm not really sure whose side he's really on. Is he really on Catherine's side? Is he really on Josie's side? Is he on his own side with Leo? Because he's obviously got Leo going to burn down the mill. So I don't really know. I don't really know who he's doing it for. I really doubt he's doing it for Catherine, and I really doubt he's doing it for Josie. My guess is that he's probably doing it for himself. Let's see, where was I? Then they cut back to the party. Swing music just begins to play out of nowhere. Like, there's no reason for any swing music to just start playing. It's almost like Leland willed it to come on. And of course, immediately he starts hearing it and his feet start going, because see, I kind of think Bob, if I was going to equate Bob with a demon and demonology, I would equate him with Asmodeus. And the reason why is because I think he's really, like, his whole thing, he's really into music, dancing, singing. And those are things that the demon Asmodeus, like, rules over. And don't ask how I know these things. I just done a lot of really weird independent study into a lot of really weird things. So I just happen to know this little bit. And it reminds me, that's what Bob reminds me of. He reminds me of the demon Asmodeus. I just, every time I see Leland, the way he acts, it just screams Asmodeus to me. So it doesn't surprise me that his feet are going and that he's hearing the music, yet his face is still, he's in pain and he's crying and he's upset. It's because he's got a conflict going on within him. Bob wants to control everything he's doing and saying, and Leland is distraught over the death of his daughter. Even though I really believe Leland knew what he was doing, I don't think that he really wanted her to die. I don't think that he even really necessarily wanted to be doing these things to her. It's just that Bob controls him, and Bob wanted to do those things to hurt him, to hurt Leland, to hurt Sarah, to hurt Laura, because that's what he thrives on. He thrives on the pain and the suffering of others. So anyway, Leland hears the swing music and he begins to dance and go crazy, and he starts to get visually upset. A lot of people are getting visibly upset in this episode, I noticed. Ben tells Catherine, go dance with him. He just go cover it up, because he's obviously freaking out in front of the Icelanders, and he doesn't want, obviously, the Icelanders to decide, oh, everything's crazy in Twin Peaks, let's not invest here. So he sends Catherine out there to dance with Leland. And Leland's holding his head because he's crying, and his head's probably spinning like all over the place, because he's obviously got two separate types of thoughts going on in his head. And she starts going like this when they're dancing to try to make it look like it's a dance move. And then some of the Icelanders start doing that move, which I think is hilarious. I think that's hilarious. I love it. But then it cuts to Audrey, and Audrey is crying. Audrey's crying as she's watching Leland break down on the dance floor. And that's so sad, because I normally don't see her as that type, the type that would actually have empathy like that. But she shows serious empathy there. And, I actually felt really bad for Leland there too. So, hi, Jess. How you doing? Oh, Gary, hi. Oh, hi, Steak. Hi, Saucy. How you doing? The next scene is back at the Palmer house, and it's the middle of the night, and Maddie's sneaking down the stairs to use the phone, and she found a tape in Laura's bedpost, and she calls up, I think she calls up Donna to tell Donna about it. And she tells her, make sure you bring a tape recorder when you come to the house tomorrow so we can find out what's on the tape. Then it cuts to the Great Northern again, and Ben and Josie are in Ben's office. And Josie gives Ben the ledger that he told her to steal from Catherine. Now I'm confused about the ledgers again because I've forgotten exactly where these ledgers are all coming from. I don't know if that was was it planted? I cannot recall. I mean, we're going to find out, but I think the book was planted by Catherine as a fake. I think Catherine was onto it, which is just another moment of me going, who is Ben? What side is Ben on? Because I haven't figured out whose side he's on if he's playing both of them that way. The next scene, we cut to Shelley, and Leo comes home, and Hank finds him in the driveway and beats the crap out of him. I don't remember exactly what it was that made Hank beat him up. Leo made some kind of mistake. I can't recall exactly what it was, and I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. Shelley's waiting for him in there with her gun, and when she sees him, he comes in all hurt. She forgets about the gun and forgets about her plan to kill him immediately, and she wants to help. She wants to help him. So this is obvious to me that she does care. She does care about Leo, and she wants to help him because he's hurt, but he just acts like an asshole, of course, and just shoves her to the ground. And she takes the gun out and she points it at him and she says, "You're never going to hurt me again." And he goes, come on, Shelley. And he goes to walk towards her and she shoots the gun. And that's where that scene ends. The next scene is back at the Great Northern, and Cooper returns to his room to find the door ajar. He takes out his gun and he slowly creeps in, and he finds Audrey in his bed, naked as Jaybird, and waiting for him. And that's where the episode ends. So that's the only one I watched this week. Like I said, it was a big episode with a lot of information in it, and I saw myself writing down like 3 pages of notes, and I was like, oh my God, that's as many as I had for both episodes the last time. So I decided just to cut this one down to just one episode this week. Also because I'm going to talk a little bit about Saw, because in preparation for Spiral, the book of Saw coming out. But I was going to tell you guys, I'm gonna invite some people in. I'm going to put the the link in the chat. I'm also going to put the link in the Region Free chat on Twitter and see if anybody wants to join me to talk about Saw or talk about Twin Peaks. Either way, it's fine with me. So I'm going to put this in the chat. And if anybody wants to join me, that's fine. If not, though, that's fine too. I don't mind. And I'm also going to send it to the Region Free chat and see if anybody wants to join me. And hopefully we'll get a couple people coming in. If not, no big deal. So yeah, guys. So Saw is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I didn't even really realize it until recently when I started to rewatch the movies, and I started realizing how much information I retained from those movies and how interesting or how interested I am in all the movie connections with each other. It has to be one of the most complex series of movies in the horror genre, actually in any genre, because if you do pick apart the stories, you can actually put all of it together in a cohesive manner and it makes sense, which rarely happens with horror movies, rarely happens with series of movies. It's rare that you have a series in the horror genre where the killer isn't supernatural. So the fact that he doesn't have to be brought back by, lightning or be a supernatural being, or just hard to kill like Michael Myers or whatever. He just has a cult and he has disciples, and that is terrifying. That's terrifying. It's realistic and it's genius. It's genius because what other movie series has that in it? What other movie series, goes that far with the plotting? And especially because, there's been different directors throughout the movies. Only 2, 3, and 4, I think, were all directed by the same guy. And that particular guy is also directing Spiral, which I'm super, super excited for. I cannot wait to see it. I am definitely going to the theater. I don't care how hard it is for me to get there or whatever. I need to go see it. I'm going to drag my kid with me if I have to. So he doesn't really like these horror movies, but I showed him the trailer and I'm hoping it intrigued him a little bit. He does like the fact that it's got Chris Rock in it, and he does like the fact that it's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. So he might actually enjoy it. It's too bad I can't get him into more stuff though, because I've always wanted him to be into the horror movies like me, and he's just not. He's just not. 402. Hi, I missed you. Mwah. Yes, I was late to the party too because I was late tonight. I didn't mean to be, but I was running around doing a bunch of stuff, and I don't know. I ended up taking a shower too late and then eating too late. So I ended up being 15 minutes late tonight, but that's all right. I'm already done even talking about the episode that I was doing. So now I'm on to talking about Saw. So, because Spiral is coming out in 2 days and I am down. I am down for Spiral. I can't wait. I'm super stoked. Oh, and so because I wanted to talk about Saw, it was just Mother's Day on Sunday, and my son and my husband got me the coolest gift. I'm going to show you. They got me all of the Saw Blu-rays except for 7 and except for Jigsaw. So I'll have to go out and I'll have to find those because they weren't there. But they got me every single one of them, all the rest of them. Saw 1, Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, Saw 5, and Saw 6. Now this one comes in a weird case, but I think that's because this is a used one, and I think somebody lost the case, so they just put it in this, and I'm fine with that. As long as it works, I'm cool. So I've already been rewatching these movies, and I am having a blast. I really, really love Saw. I think it might now be my favorite franchise of all. Even though I still love Friday the 13th, and I'm always going to have a specific love for that because it is the reason that I'm into the horror genre. I don't know if I ever would have got so far into it had I not seen Friday the 13th when I was, I think it was 8 or 9. I mean, I had seen other things before, but Friday the 13th was what really dragged me into the obsession. And I'm glad for that. Thanks, Mom. Thank you so much, Mom. So I'm excited about the Saw movies. Oh yeah, it was a good Mother's Day present. And that's not all I got. I got the movie Pi, Darren Aronofsky. I got this has it's a big box of horror movies. Now, I've only ever seen 2 movies out of here. I've seen Prom Night and Prom Night 2, and that's it. I've never seen any of the others. So there's a whole bunch of like unknown movies to me on here, and I'm going to have a really good time watching these. I would like it if somebody could suggest one to me that I haven't seen before. Now, I haven't seen Halloween 4, which is in here, so I am going to watch that. But if you guys want to make a suggestion, I can post this somehow. You guys can, yeah, you can take a picture if you want, or keep it somehow, screenshot it, and then make a suggestion to me about which one I should watch first. And then I'm going to review it on Region Free. So, and Region Free, if you guys are not subbed to Region Free, go to Region Free. They're the other channel I work with, and sub to them. It's a great group of people, and I have a good time on that show. And I'm absolutely floored that they like me, that they like me. They all really like me. So go over there and sub, and then come watch us every other Thursday because we have fun in there. Oh, you did, Sean. Don't say a word, okay? Because I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy that. It's going to be my birthday thing. I'm going to buy that for my birthday, and I want to play it completely blind. Now, I have watched a little bit of it. I've gotten through the one I've been watching. I think they're in Mrs. D's castle, or whatever her name is. But that's as far as I've seen, and I don't want to know anymore because I want to buy it. It looks fantastic, and the gameplay looks way more fun than even 7 was, and 7 was a blast. I've not finished that one yet either. I plan to. Oh yeah, so I was saying about Region Free. Yeah, just go to my YouTube homepage, and right up on the top is a little link to Region Free, and you can click on it and go sub to them. Sub to all those guys because they're all awesome and they all do great work on their own channels. And I hope to see you guys in the chat over there because, we have fun on Thursdays. So come on in and talk movies with us. Pi is a great movie. It is. I've been wondering, I know everybody's been putting, they put their people's chat comments up. Now, how do I do that? Oh, I see. Oh, dummy. Blonde. That's funny. The Pit and the Pendulum, subspecies 1 and 2. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Oh, there's Region Free. Thank you, Jay. That's the link to Region Free in that. If you want to sub to Region Free, please do that. The Pit and the Pendulum, subspecies 1 and 2, and Curtains Are All Good. I haven't seen many other ones on that set. Let me see that set again. Crap. I don't see the Pit and the Pendulum on here. Subspecies isn't on here too. Are you talking about something different, Jay? Because here, I'll show you it again. I don't know what The Familiar is, or Direwolf, or The Inflicted. Halloween 4, or Halloween. I always do that. Howling 4, I do need to see. I've never seen it. I don't know if it's shit, I don't care if it's shit, though. If it is shit, I'll enjoy the shit. I just want to be able to watch something that I've never watched before, and I want to do a review on Region Free for it because I think it would be awesome. I also got another disc that's got 3 Stephen King movies. It's got Graveyard Shift, Pet Sematary, and Silver Bullet. And all 3 discs are separate, and they're all special versions. And it comes in a special case. it's like an old fashioned, old style case. And I kind of like that because it's different than anything else I've had before. So I like that I have seen Prom Night too, Jay. It's, now how do I get them off here? Okay. Um, yeah, I have seen Prom Night 2 before and I've seen Prom Night 1, but those are the only two movies on that box that I've seen. Yeah, I know it's a lot of crap, Lauren. It's okay though, because I don't mind crap. I don't mind crap once in a while. Sometimes crap can be enjoyable. Um, and I don't know. I kind of like the idea of reviewing a really crappy movie that I've never seen before, just for the shits and giggles of it. So I don't know. I think it might be fun. And since I've already seen the Prom Night movies, I kind of wanted to avoid watching those. I'm sure I'm going to watch them again anyway, but you know. Um, oh yeah, you looked at the wrong set. Yeah, I don't know. I I don't know which one I'm going to watch, but I'll figure it out. It'll be fun. So, yeah, the Saw movies are exciting for me. I love how all the twists and turns go. I love how they foreshadow things that are going to happen like 2, 3 movies ahead sometimes. Um, they really thought it out. It's a well thought out series of movies, and that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing Spiral because it's absolutely fantastic. Oh, I got a guest. Hold on, let me get my earphones on. Jonathan.
Yo,
Yo.
what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good.
Noise.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait to see Saw. I'm so
To
well.
Seesaw.
I yeah to see Saw. See.
Hmm. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. The first Saw is so good. Like it's amazing.
I
Second
know.
second one's good. Three's where it goes off the rails.
You know what though? I just watched 3 the other night, and I actually like it a little bit better now than I used to.
It's
And
the
I think
last one
it's
I could watch.
oh, you haven't seen 4, 5, 6. You haven't
No,
seen
I
them?
have. It's the last one that I'll like. I would like if I was gonna go back and rewatch the series. I'd probably stop at three. Like three's it, and because four, I remember walking out of the theater going, "Who was that guy? Like, why was that twist supposed to be shocking? I don't know who that was." So
I haven't. It's been a while since I've seen 4, and that's the next one I'm watching, and I can't recall. Um, I can't recall the twist at the end of that one. Oh yes, wait, I do know. Detective Hoffman is sitting in a chair, and you got Donnie Wahlberg is standing on a block of ice, right?
yep.
And then it's Riggs test, I think. His test is to be patient, and he's not patient enough, and it kills everybody. That's
Actually,
what I remember.
Lauren says the twist in four is that it's a parallel story to three. Actually, the twist is it's not a very good movie. That was the twist. You watch the whole thing, and at the end of it, you're like, "Oh, that was a bad movie. That was a great twist."
I've been watching this guy, CZ World,
Mhm.
and he's got a whole series of videos that like put the whole story together. And the way he's done it is genius, and it's made me like the series even more. If you watch those videos, you might actually end up liking 4
See,
a little bit better.
my biggest and I was the biggest Saw. I mean, I was the target age for Saw. Like when it came out, I was like 16, I think, when I saw part four, right?
Mhm.
So, and I loved them up until that time, but it just got too convoluted. Like the twist in the first one, whoa, who saw that coming, right? Like who
Right,
would have called that? And
right.
everyone was hungry for it. They thought they had to do it every single time. And that's a really hard thing to keep up, especially with a movie where you're only going to have a handful of characters. So if they would have taken a little time in between them, I think it would have benefited them greatly. I think Spiral could actually be pretty good because we put a little time in between the
Yeah.
last one. So
I'm very intrigued by Spiral. I'm very intrigued by the voice pattern in the voice changer
mhm.
because it sounds female to me. So I'm halfway wondering if the killer in this is going to be a female.
They're gonna have to do something like that.
I hope it is a female. I hope it is. And I hope it's somebody that is connected to the other films so that, we can connect them all together. Like what if it's Daniel from 2 or
Mhm.
cuz think about how many people actually lived through the stuff but were not in uh
Any of the
Jigsaw
other, yeah,
or 7. Uh 7 where they have Dr. Gordon come out as the killer, the person who took over.
yeah.
Um they don't show Daniel there. They don't show a few other different people that lived through it there. Like uh
Now, what about Lee Winnell? Did he ever come back?
no, he was Adam and he died. We all
Did he
know that.
die? Did he
Yeah,
die? They
Amanda
find his
suffocated
corpse, right?
him.
Oh,
Amanda
okay, yeah,
suffocated him
okay.
with a
See, that's what I'm talking about.
plastic
It's
bag.
too much to keep up with. Like, it just keeps going.
It is. You have to rewatch them over and over
Like
and over
how
again.
convoluted it is that to think that this is a series where the main character dies, like for sure in the third movie. Like it's entirely acknowledged that he is dead in the third movie,
Yeah.
and there's 5 movies after that feature him. Like that's how crazy this franchise is.
It is, and it jumps around in time a lot, which it confuses
Which
people.
is a cop out.
Yeah, but I like
Now see,
it.
5. I think 5 is a much better film than 4.
It
I think
is.
5 it comes back around because 5 is really fun and it's light and it does it correctly. 4
Four
was
had
just
things. Yeah, four had things about it that I was just like, this isn't. I don't understand its place. Now I kind
yeah.
of do, but I didn't
4 is where it
understand
really
its
wanted to
place.
be a crime thriller. It's like a really dark episode of Blue Bloods.
Yes.
It's or NYPD Blue or pick. But,
The girl that gets her hair like in the thing and it pulls her hair off. Oh, that's absolutely brutal. And
yeah.
he tries to save her. He tries, but he doesn't succeed. And that's the thing, that his whole test is about patience.
Mm.
Just like Detective Matthews. His whole test was about patience, and he couldn't sit there for 2 hours and just wait. He had to like freak out. He was freaking out because I, the thing is, Jigsaw is supposed to like not he's supposed to set his games up so that they can win, right? And the thing is, if he knew that Detective Matthews has a hard time keeping himself still,
Mhm.
to set the game up so that it's like a fake game, he's seeing a game that already occurred and there he thinks he's watching it in real time, so he thinks in real time that his son is in like real time danger. And he tells him, if you sit here, you'll find him in a safe and secure
Mhm.
condition or whatever. Well, he is in a safe. So he tells him where he is, he hints to it, but he just can't sit still. And the thing is, I don't actually blame him. As a parent, I would
No,
freak
there's
the
no
hell
way.
out. And
Yeah,
so the
there's no
fact
way.
that he gets crazy at the end of 2 and like beats the crap out of him, it's almost like Jigsaw knew that he would do that and he almost set him up to fail. And he's not supposed to set people up to fail. That was supposed to be what Amanda and Hoffman do, is set people up to fail.
Mhm.
So the fact that he kind of uh, set that up to fail is kind of sad to me, because I wanted Detective Matthews to be able to win and get his son back. And
Mhm.
if he would have made it through, he might have been one of the better disciples, because eventually I think he might have become a disciple. But the reason why he didn't become a disciple is because he didn't learn anything.
Mhm.
He even as he broke his foot. I don't know if you remember that, when he breaks his foot with the back of the toilet
Yeah.
that killed Zepp.
Mhm.
He gets out of there and then he attacks Amanda. And the whole thing is he's supposed to learn not to do such a thing,
Yeah, not to let lash out.
right? Not
Mhm.
to use violence
Mhm.
as the only answer to get information. And
Mhm.
then he proceeds to just beat the crap out of her. So it's no wonder that he ends up being put in a room and fed, slop. And everything else because, he didn't learn. I think by the end though, he actually did learn. But I don't know if he learned it right because it seemed to me like he'd rather die
Yeah.
than do what Jigsaw wanted him to
Mhm.
do until he found out that his trying to kill himself on that ice block would kill Hoffman, which
Mhm.
actually wouldn't have happened because we know that Hoffman was behind it.
Mhm.
Um, he thought that putting his friend at risk was wrong, so he gets back up on the block rather than choking himself to death, which shows that he did learn a little something, but he didn't learn his lesson properly.
I'm actually like more interested in the fact that Lorne has evidently seen all these movies and has opinions on them because this does not seem like the thing that is up his alley.
I'm actually surprised by that too.
Yeah, because he seems to know quite a bit about him. It's not the thing like I saw him once when it looks like he's watched him a couple times.
Yeah.
I
Have
tell you
you
what, that
have
is
you watched them a couple
that is
times there, Lauren?
that's one of the best Blu-ray sets you can get is the Saw movies because they're like $10 for all the Blu-rays.
Yes. Well, did you see that? I got them for Mother's Day. Oh, lost my earphones. I got 1,
Oh, nice.
2, 3, 4, 5, and
Five.
6. I didn't get 7 and I didn't get Jigsaw yet, but I will. They have to split it up. My birthday's in a couple weeks too, so
Yeah.
they got to split up Mother's Day and my birthday.
Oh, nice.
But yeah,
See
that was an awesome gift.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I had them on DVD, but not Blu-ray, so I'm excited about that.
I used to have a really weird DVD for 5, where it was a huge box and it had a little saw blade in it, and you would hit a button and the saw blade would spin and make all kinds of weird noises.
How neat!
Yeah, I tossed it because I got rid of all the Saw DVDs. Because there for a while you could not walk. You could not walk without tripping over a Saw DVD just anywhere. I mean, like you just be out in your yard, you trip over Saw 3. That's how abundant those DVDs were.
Yeah. I actually have Saw 1 and Saw 2 on DVD that they were pre-owned. They were a Blockbuster buy when our Blockbuster went down. I think that was, oh my God, 2009. So I've had those for a long time.
I actually initially bought Saw on VHS.
Oh my God, was VHS still out in 2004?
It was at the very, very tail end. The last one, the last VHS ever commercially released is a Cronenberg movie, it's History of Violence. And that was in 04.
That's
05,
right.
I think. Yeah.
I love that movie.
I picked up Saw on VHS because it was cheaper. I was obviously very young, so it was cheaper than the DVD, so I bought it on VHS.
Gosh, I think the last VHS I bought was Fallen with
Denzel Washington and John Goodman. I love that movie.
I love that movie too. It's
love
awesome.
It. Nobody talks about it.
Ever. Nobody ever mentions it.
I think everyone confuses it with Frailty because their cover is really similar. I did it for a long time, but
they are very similar.
John Goodman is great in that movie.
He is. It reminds me a lot of that one movie, Raising Cain, too. The one with John Lithgow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good movie too. They're similar. They have a similar feel to them. I really like that. But I love the fact that in Fallen, it's this demon that just travels from person to person by touch. That's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And John Goodman is so.
John Goodman's the man.
He is.
I love
him
John
in
Goodman.
Everything.
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to find anything he's in that I don't love.
Yeah, he's always good. And I wish he was in more things.
Oh,
they need to put him in more movies.
He's great. He's great. Argo. He's really good in Argo. I don't know why that just hit me, but I love that movie.
I have not seen Argo.
Oh,
I
fix
remember
that. It's so
I remember it playing on the stations, and I would just because I had all of them at the time, so I had about 25 movie stations, and I just every time I would see it, I would just flip past it because I was like, Ben Affleck.
I love some Ben Affleck, man.
I do in certain times, and certain times I don't. I probably would like Argo, and I probably should watch it, and I will eventually. It's just that particular one, I just wasn't into it. I
I
just
think you'd
wasn't
like. I
into
think
it.
you'd like it. Give it a shot.
You know what I do like with him in it though is the one where he plays Superman. What's the name of that one? Shoot, can't remember the name of it. He doesn't play Superman. I mean, he plays George Reeves.
Oh yeah. Hang on a second now.
Hollywoodland.
Hollywoodland. There you go.
That's it. Good movie. He's so
Yeah.
good in it too.
Sean has called me out here because I said I think I love all movies that John Goodman's in. Blues Brothers 2000 was bad, but John Goodman was not what was wrong with that movie.
No. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't like that movie, but I actually do enjoy
Blues Brothers
movie.
2000?
I do.
Ooh, it's rough.
Only because see, I'm a music person. I could if you asked my parents, they would tell you that I was humming Beatles music in my crib before I could even say a word, because music was always just first in my life, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, watching the Blues Brothers 2000 or even the original Blues
The
Brothers
original's classic. But
yeah, it's just fun. It's fun, and it's got good music, and I don't watch it for anything more than that. It's just pure entertainment for shits and giggles.
Hey, everybody has guilty pleasures. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I have a lot of them. I mean, people pick on me a lot because, I like things like Xanadu. People get really weird about my Xanadu love. They make fun of me.
Isn't that the thing that Scientologists pray to? Xanadu?
I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. It starts with a Z.
That's Xenu.
Xenu. There you go.
Xanadu is a movie with Olivia Newton-John from 1980. It's the last movie Gene Kelly was ever in.
Huh.
And it features Electric Light Orchestra music. And it simultaneously won Razzies that year and Grammys. So if that tells you anything, the music is outstanding.
Well,
but the movie itself is it's made for a 6-year-old girl. And I loved it as a 6-year-old girl. I didn't take my roller skates off for 2 years because of that movie. She's on her roller skates throughout the entire movie. I love it. You have to see that. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it.
Let's see here. My guilty pleasure is I Heart the Huckabees.
That's not a guilty pleasure. That's a fantastic film. That's
a Wes Anderson movie.
I love it.
No,
is that Wes Anderson?
That feels like something that Wes Anderson would do.
I Heart Huckabees is fantastic. Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin are hilarious. I love Jason Schwartzman, and I love Naomi Watts.
It's not. It's David O. Russell. My bad.
The blanket. It's all the blanket. It's all the blanket.
What was in there?
Jude Law. Jude Law.
Yeah, take him or leave him.
Who else is in there? The lady from The Birds.
Jason Schwartzman is in it.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
Forgot about him. He plays the fireman.
Jonah Hill. That's who I was looking for. He is in it. It's like his first movie.
Oh yeah, he has a little tiny part where Jason Schwartzman goes to dinner at some guy's house. Oh, the doorman's house. That's what it was. The doorman from his parents' building. And he has some kind of connection with him or something. It's so cool. I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, and now you're getting me to want to see it.
Is Mountain Dew the drink of choice for Twin Peaks Tuesday? Or maybe
Mountain Dew is the drink. Mountain Dew is the drink of choice for me for like every day.
I have quit drinking sodas, and it sucks. Water's terrible. Water is awful.
Water is awful, and I should definitely drink more of it. But it helps if you cut up lemon and put lemon in your pitcher in your fridge. Yeah. Because number one, ice water will burn 300 calories. If you drink 3 8-ounce glasses a day, you'll burn 300 calories. 2, putting the lemon in it has a bunch of antioxidants and a bunch of metabolism boosters. So If you put the lemon in it, it'll help your metabolism speed up.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, I despise water. I'm just trying to get to that point where it's numb and I don't taste anything, and it's just sustenance for life at that point.
I wish that I could get off the dew. I really do wish I could get off of it.
Say it like you're mainlining it over there. Just
Well, I've been telling people since high school. I've been drinking it like since high school. This is going back to 1991, okay? And I've been telling people since then that you will have to bury me with a case of Mountain Dew and a carton of Newports. That is the way. I will never quit it.
Newports?
Oh yeah, right here.
Newport, those are so expensive down here. Like they're like the most expensive cigarette.
They're not cheap here either. They're quite expensive, but because I'm on Wellbutrin, which keeps me from smoking very often, I don't smoke a whole pack a day. Yeah. My husband's okay with it. He's okay with me spending a little extra money on the name brand because it takes me like 3 weeks to smoke a carton or a month to smoke a carton rather than, a week.
When I smoked Marlboro pretty much the whole time. But there was a short period of time when Newport put out a full flavor.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. And it was actually really cheap. So there was a short period of time that I smoked Newports for a while.
I remember when a pack of cigarettes cost $1.25.
Oh my gosh. I remember it. Like I started smoking when I was a teenager. It was stupid.
I did too.
But how much they cost down there, Jamie? You'll laugh. Oh yeah. I guess it is different. I think the last pack of cigarettes I bought, I paid $6 for Marlboro.
These are $10 a pack here. Almost
11. Dude, what?
New York.
Yeah, that'll make you quit. That'll make you quit. $10. See, like there are still like $2 packs of cigarettes down here.
Yeah, see, you can get those if you go to the reservation, and you can get like Indian cigarettes for cheap like that. But otherwise, you like the brand name ones, they're very hard to find. And I go buy them in PA. I'm like, I live.
You're a criminal. That's.
Okay, so I live on
it's like that scene in Goodfellas.
Like I live right on the border, so I can drive. I drive to PA all the time. It's like a natural thing. Sometimes I don't even realize I've crossed the line. When we were all on lockdown, I kept driving over to get gas. And I'm like, ooh, I'm being naughty. Ooh, I'm not supposed to be here in this state. I'm bad girl. Ooh, so.
Smuggling cigarettes in interstate. Wow. That's federal time right there, Jamie. That's federal.
I'm bad.
Are they banning menthols? I've heard they're gonna ban menthols.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna fight it.
Oh, menthols tore me up. Like that was one thing I was like, all right, I get it.
I will not. I won't be able to smoke anymore if they do that. I cannot smoke a regular.
Is that the worst thing though? Like I was a long time smoker. Like, and here's the thing: if smoking was good for you, my God, I would choose to smoke all the time. I loved smoking. I love the way it felt. I love the way it tastes.
I know.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. It does make you look cooler when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
To other teenagers, I hate to say it that way, but it did. I thought it looked cool. Smoking, I loved smoking. The problem is it just completely kills you.
It does. Do you want to know what year I started smoking?
What year?
1984. I was 11.
Oh, wow.
I was rebellious.
That was 6 years pre-Jonathan.
My mom was, I just wanted to piss people off. And I thought, well, my babysitter is offering me a cigarette, so I'm going to try it. Because my parents said I shouldn't, so I'm going to do it. And I regret that decision. I've regretted that decision every day since I made that decision.
Yeah.
I really wish that I wouldn't have done it.
They're so hard to quit.
They are. And
like there are certain times of the day that I still am like, and I haven't like actually smoked. I've smoked a little bit here and there, but like smoked heavily in like at least 8 years. And,
you have to really want to stop. I mean, you have to really, really want to.
You do.
And but I don't want to yet.
When I first wake up in the morning, I still want a cigarette. As soon as I get done eating, that is like the number one. Like nothing caps off food like a cigarette. Oh my gosh. Car rides. I always want to smoke in the car. But No,
I've
you
had to get
can't.
my husband to stop doing that because he's a big culprit of that. As soon as he gets in the car, even if he just put a cigarette out, he'll get a cigarette in his
Me
mouth and
too,
he'll
because
light
it's like
it.
you got one for the ride.
Yeah. And I'm like, hello, you just put a cigarette out. I keep trying to tell him he needs to get on Wellbutrin because then he won't even think about it.
Yeah.
It won't even bother him at all, but he doesn't want to. He's dead set against that. So
That's the first thing I did. When you start the car up, you get your cigarettes out, you light one up, and you
yeah.
roll.
For me, it's like the ones that I need to have are the one in the morning when I get up, the 3 after I eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then the one before bed. Other than that, it doesn't bother me. Like I can go hours and hours and hours without smoking. It doesn't bother me. I smoked all the way through school and no one even knew. Like I was a cheerleader and I was smoking. Like people had my advisor had no idea. I would go home every single day after practice and
Yeah, but
smoke
couldn't you? I mean, I'm not trying. You used to be able to smoke at school, right? Like,
couldn't smoke in my school. I never smoked in school. I never
really?
one time ever did.
Like we still had, of course, little bitty town, right? We still had a smoking area that we weren't allowed to use, but it used to be for students. Students used to smoke at school all the time.
Yeah, they would not have let that happen in my high school or my junior high or anything like that. College was different. I mean, everybody was smoking in college.
Yeah, Lauren knows what I'm talking about. The smoking lounge, yeah.
I can't believe your high schools would have a smoking lounge. That is some badass
Yeah.
stuff right there.
I used to smoke. I used to go outside and smoke and bum cigarettes off of the art teacher because we inadvertently found each, because like teachers by that time weren't allowed to smoke on school grounds, but
Right.
we inadvertently found each other smoking, so we agreed not to tell anybody.
That's funny. That's like, when I was in grade school, the teacher's lounge, you would walk by it and the cigarette smoke would just be wafting out of there, just like crazy. And the coffee smell, and all my teachers would smell like cigarette smoke. And, to me, it was normal. It was like, it was a normal thing. So when they, took smoking out of the buildings and everything, it was really, really weird not to smell that every day.
Like, but there is some things I'm glad they did. Like I remember before when you could have like the smoking area at a restaurant, and just how terrible that was. Like looking back on it, it was bad. I forgot about that. And how like the smoking and non-smoking section were never like, there was never like a wall in between. It was just like, we're going to cut the room in half. And
I just, when it comes to smoking in restaurants, I remember I got to the point where, because in New York, they stopped doing the smoking restaurants way earlier than most other places. So I started to get used to the fact that, I wasn't going to be able to smoke right after I eat until I go outside or whatever. So when I would go to Pennsylvania or, like to Erie or whatever to go shopping, and I'd go to a restaurant and they were still smoking in there because Pennsylvania was like way, way behind everybody else. I was like, this is so weird. I can actually sit here and smoke a cigarette. I felt guilty about it. I was like, I feel guilty for smoking around all these people that don't want the smoke around them. And then it got to a point where, like, even when we go places like Darien Lake or, like Six Flags or whatever, I don't want like Scott to smoke. Even if you're allowed, I don't want like Scott to smoke or anybody else to smoke because I'm afraid it's offending other people. So I don't know. Maybe
it didn't used to be like that though. You're right. Like everybody used to smoke.
Everybody,
like just everyone did.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like there would never be. I never heard anybody complain about it or what. And when they did, they always seemed like really pretentious people. So like it wasn't just like your normal everyday person.
Yeah, my grandma, she never smoked a cigarette a day in her life. Never smoked a cigarette. But my grandfather, he always smoked, and my dad and my uncle. My aunt never did, but a lot of the other people in my family all smoked cigarettes.
Oh man, I was doomed. Everybody in my family smoked. My mom didn't. I take that back. She quit smoking when she got pregnant with me and just never started back up, which is a good idea. But my dad was 3-pack a day smoker.
My dad was too.
Smoking Darrell 100s.
Oh, my dad was a Marbreds guy. Always Marbreds. And you could.
I'm sorry. How do you say Marlboro?
Marlboro. Marlboro.
I heard like I could. How'd you say it a second?
I said Marb Reds.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry. Sorry,
that's just my.
I'm a tad high, Jamie. I'm sorry.
Oh, are you? That's all right. I wish
Yeah.
I was. Yeah. So my
Ah,
dad smoked those Marlboro Reds, and he smoked like 3 packs a day, and you couldn't say shit to my dad. You couldn't say anything. He would get super angry if you tried to tell him he couldn't smoke or he
yep,
couldn't do
that's where my
something.
dad was.
He hated that. And
Like we,
I always thought he would pass away from something smoking related.
yeah.
And it turned out he didn't. He ended up passing away from a blood clot, but the blood clot wasn't even caused by that. It was his being on so much prednisone and all these other drugs for these
Oh
other
wow,
reasons. So smoking didn't kill him, and I thought it would.
that's wild. You know, it's always, or you hear about these people who smoke up and like well into their 80s and 90s. They're just, and it just never gets them right. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I
weird.
have no smoking related issues. I used to have
I
smoking
did.
related asthma for a while, but it went away when I stopped smoking so many. So I don't have a problem with it anymore.
The ones smoking is like different things start to taste and smell. And like once you're not smoking for a while, like the whole time I was smoking, I never noticed if somebody, like, I never smelled smoke. When I quit, you can, like, if you light one up down the street, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
there it is.
Yeah, immediately.
Yep.
And that's why I say, I don't like it when we're in a place that, you really shouldn't be smoking, even though they might allow it, because I know the other people around there that don't smoke cannot stand that smell. And I
Oh
don't
no,
blame them.
it's bad. It's bad. It really
It is
is.
it is a bad smell.
And something else you don't see is people used to smoke in their house all the time. You roll up in somebody's house and like it'd be that day of the year that the mom had taken everything down to like clean the walls, and there'd be the picture frame,
Yep.
like squares everywhere.
Yep. My house still has that. When we're remodeling right now, and everything is like gutted and torn apart. And when we started working on the walls, we took everything down, and every single wall had, picture frames up there that you could see. And when we took out we had a built-in bookshelf right next to the fireplace. And when we took that built-in bookshelf out, because it's been there since 1980 or so, the wall was so white behind it. I was like, holy crap, we're horrible people. We're horrible. Because, I thought my walls were white. My walls are not white. They're like yellow. And it's not only because of smoking cigarettes. It's also because of years and years of like cooking and all these other things too.
Oh, but nicotine makes a certain color. Like
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see,
the house, the walls in my house were white when I was a kid. They were white.
Yeah. Like this house used to be Scott's parents' house. Yeah. And so his dad smoked his whole life in this house. So the walls, when I took that out, that was what was there when they put it in. So all of that yellow and stuff basically was mostly from them, because we don't smoke in the house a whole lot. Yeah. Or at least I didn't. Now I do more because my son is fully grown. But when my son was little, I smoked outside a lot more. And I probably smoked more cigarettes back then because I wasn't on Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin really works. And I didn't go on it for the reason of like cutting my smoking down. Mm-hmm. It's just an added benefit that comes with that drug.
Did you ever try vaping?
No, but
really?
Yeah. I have a vape. My son, when he was a junior in high school, I could smell something, and it smelled like cherries. And I was like, something isn't right. And I go in his room and I catch him. Yeah. So he was vaping in his room. He had a vape. And so I took it from him. Mm-hmm. And I've had it ever since. And so I have a vape. If I wanted to use it, I could. But I've never tried it.
I liked vaping.
You're not vaping anymore?
No, I quit vaping. It'll be a week tomorrow. So I'm almost over the hump yet. No, I'm trying to get just like, I'm in really bad shape, evidently, after seeing several doctors. My cholesterol is really high. My blood pressure is extremely high. I've got a whole host of heart issues. I have to have a stress test.
Oh, yeah. My husband has to get those all the time. My husband had a heart attack at 38.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I should take it serious.
Very
Yeah.
serious. You
Yeah.
should, because, and
Yeah.
believe me, because I will never forget, when we went in there for his, he was going to get a scope done to
Yeah.
see we knew something was wrong. We just didn't know what. And we were actually expecting he was going to just be fine and we were going to go home that night.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened at all. The doctor comes out and sits down with me and starts showing me these, x-rays. And he's like, see this right here? They call this a widowmaker. And I was like, mother, what did you just say? My dad flipped. My dad was so mad because he didn't want the doctor to make me, paranoid
Scared.
and upset. And the doctor was sitting there being such a jerk. And he was like, I told your husband to tell you that if you don't quit smoking, he should leave you. And I'm like, you bastard.
Yeah.
I can't believe he would say something like that without any regard to the fact that he and I have been together since 1994.
Mm.
You don't just tell somebody who's been together that long and made something work for that long. Yeah. You just dump her because, if she won't quit smoking.
Some doctors are weird.
Their bedside manner is terrible. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have any smoking related issues, but I do worry about it. I worry about that all the time.
Yeah. That's why I quit. And vaping, there was something, it wasn't good for you by any means. I just think it was better. You know what I mean? Obviously it's not good to do something like that, but
what's it feel like? Because that's what I was worried about, is the way it would feel. That
it depends. If you get the little pins, they hit just like a cigarette, so you're getting little bursts. Those big ones, like the one I used to have on all the time, that's way different. That's way different.
It just feels weird, like the thought of putting water vapor in your lungs, right? Isn't that what that is? Water vapor?
Kinda.
It just feels like that would be wrong.
It's not cold, like nothing like that. But not really. Like it's water. Yes, no, yes. Like,
but it kind of feels like smoke.
It feels exactly like smoke.
Oh, well, maybe I'll try it sometime. It's probably better for me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's good for you by any means, but I think it's probably better.
Yeah. Just getting me to switch over is like, I'm so set in my ways.
My dad did, and like I said, 3 packs a day for 40 something years.
Yeah. Well, if he can do it, maybe I can.
Yeah. And he's really stubborn. Like my parents owned a restaurant when I was a kid, and when the law came down that you couldn't smoke indoors at restaurants or whatever, he got in a lot of trouble because he just refused to kick people out for smoking, because it was set in his ways, right?
Yes. There's been a lot of that, around here. Like a lot of people took their bars and closed them and changed them to private clubs.
Yeah.
So that they could allow people to smoke, but they could still charge for alcohol.
Yep.
It's you have to pay like a membership or whatever to these places.
Yeah, to get around it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We're a member of one place like that, but we only stay members down there. One, so in case we ever have an event that we want to have, we have a place to do it. And 2, because if we keep those people on our good side, then they'll do favors for us.
I don't smoke weed, Brian. I just I eat it. I prefer that effect.
Yeah, eating it is a way better effect.
For me. Yeah.
But be careful how much you eat, because it can sneak up on you, like it did with me. I will never forget the first time I ever had an edible. I ate an entire chocolate bar to myself. I didn't realize that I was eating too much.
Yeah.
And I literally for 3 hours laid in one spot on the couch and thought I was going to die. I was like, I think I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. When's this going to go away? Is it going to go away? And there's nothing.
That's the worst feeling in the world, where you're super high and you're like, I don't want to be high anymore. Like, how do I stop?
Don't you think that weed makes chocolate taste so much better?
It makes everything taste better.
It does. It tastes so good, and it's so addictive. I hate chocolate. But if you give me that kind of chocolate with that in it, I'm good. I'm like, that tastes good. I want to eat that.
No, nothing weed. Weed anything does not taste good.
I think it does.
Horrible. See, I hate the way weed smells. I hate the way it tastes. I hate all of it. It happens to have a very fun side effect.
See, I love the way it smells, and I love it. I love the way it smells. I love the way
so many people love that. They love the way it tastes. They love it, and I hate everything about it except what happens to you after you ingest it.
I'll tell you what, if I see a juicy bud and it looks like all crystally, I immediately want to eat it. It's just, it looks delicious to me. I don't know. Yummy.
You don't care for edibles, Jess?
No, Jess?
Huh.
You know what, 402, I used to hate that. I don't even do that. I don't smoke weed around anybody I don't know. Everybody that, anybody that I've ever smoked with is somebody that I know personally. I don't go to parties and do it. The skunkier, the better. That's right, Jess.
No, dude, it literally makes me gag.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Give me that high times.
Makes me gag. Can't do it.
Acid only drug I tried, but had 2 incidents with it. I tried that one too in college. It was all right. I think everyone was crazy and lying to me because they all were saying that they could see stuff and I didn't see shit. All I saw was trails. I didn't see anything moving. I didn't see any like hallucinations. They were all like acting crazy. And I'm like, you guys are full of crap. Because I really didn't feel anything. But then I later found out that I might actually be a kind of person that drugs won't necessarily affect me.
Mm-hmm. Because
even like prescription drugs, sometimes they won't give me the effect that the doctors tell me that they're supposed to. Like I didn't even take the Vicodin from the doctor when I had my son because I was like, it's not even going to work anyway. So there's no reason to give it to me. I'll just take Tylenol. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because nothing like that usually works on me. It's kind of weird.
No, I'm very sensitive. I'm a lightweight.
I don't drink. If I drink, I'm drunk after 1 beer. I mean,
no,
I don't need it.
I see it's something else. I hate the process of drinking.
Oh, me too.
Such a fine line. Like you're either going to puke or you'll be kind of messed up, or you're going to have a headache in the morning. It's just too much.
I do like a nice glass of champagne if it's tasty, and I do like wine, but I don't drink it like to drink. A lot of people will drink to drink. I just drink to socialize. I only drink if it's there to socialize. Otherwise, it's not my thing.
Yeah, I don't like it that much.
Give me caffeine all day though. I'll drink caffeine all day.
Delta 8 for me. I'll be fine. Thank you.
Do you drink coffee?
I hate coffee.
Me too. And I'm a Twin Peaks
smells
fan.
Terrible. It smells horrible. Tastes terrible.
Does. It's
you can get caffeine in a multitude of other tastier ways.
I love tea. I'm a hot tea person.
Yeah, I even like hot tea. I mean, down here it's a sweet tea,
Yeah.
But hot
my husband does not like it when I want sweet tea. He drinks his unsweetened, and I'm like, that's gross.
Ugh. Why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that?
I don't know.
It tastes like bitter water.
I know.
It's terrible.
He loves it. My son too. They both want theirs unsweetened, and I'm like, that's sick. You guys are sick.
Like if I go to a restaurant and I ordered sweet tea and they give me like unsweet tea, like it's like a shock to the system when you take it. You're like, oh my god, that was human pee. Is what that was. That was terrible.
That's what Scott says about the other way.
The other way. That's what I don't know.
I remember just a few weeks ago, we went to Burger King and they messed up his drink and he takes a swig of it and it was sweet tea and he's like, he didn't like it at all. It's so funny.
Sweet tea is good.
I love it. It's got to have lemon in it too. I love
no.
Lemon and sugar.
Lemon. Yeah.
Oh, I love lemon. I love lemon in anything. I'll put lemon in anything. Even my hair shampoo is lemon scented. I love lemons. It's weird, but they're so good and they're good for you. Lots of antioxidants.
Coffee, but I don't drink it.
It's funny that I'm a Twin Peaks fan who doesn't like coffee.
Coffee, yeah. Well,
Had to bring it back to Twin Peaks eventually.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry.
Have you
watched
Twin
it
Peaks?
I have not. Here's how I'm going to do it. And I missed my opportunity last year. I'm going to get that big Blu-ray box set with both series.
The A to Z.
Yeah. I'm going to get that. I missed. It was on sale on Black Friday for like $60.
Oh, that's really cheap compared to the beginning.
Yeah. But it was one of those lightning deals. So like once it was gone, it was gone. So
yeah.
I'm going to wait for something like that to come around. I'm going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't get the box set because I I already had the Blu-ray set
Yeah.
from before, and then
Mhm.
I got the season 3 on DVD. So I was
Yeah.
just like, well, I'm not going to spend the money on the box set. Now I
No,
kind
why
of
would you?
wish I would have, though, knowing that I have a problem with my disc. Because
Oh,
when I was watching the episode for tonight, it stops right when they're going for the walk in the woods. They're going for a walk in the woods, and it just stops dead. And I'm like, what the heck's going on with my disc? And it must have a scratch on it right there or something. And the way
oh
that they
man.
made this box, it's like, well, I'll go get it. Hang on one second. The way that they made this box is like, you open it up like this,
Mhm.
and then it's got these little,
Sleeves.
yes,
I
and
hate those.
it shows you what's in it, and then it has these pictures, and then the disc will be underneath, and you slide them in there. And I was like, that is crap, because
Yeah.
every time I slide it in, I feel like I'm gonna scratch it.
Oh, I hate those.
The
I
cool
hate
thing
them.
about this, though, is that when you get to the bottom, it's got a little Easter egg thing in there, but it's hard to get to because this box. Okay, so when you get to the bottom, it's all black, but there, you see there's like a little envelope thing here,
Mhm.
and then if you open it up, it has a little piece of paper in there that says
A fire walk with me.
"Fire Walk with Me,"
Oh, that's cool.
and that's just like what they find when on a mound of dirt when they find her body, or
That's the
not
name
when
of
they
the
find her
movie
body,
too,
when
right?
they find the murder scene. Anyway,
It's the name of the movie, isn't it? As well.
Fire Walk with Me. Yes,
Hmm.
yes, it's it's probably my favorite series of all time and one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, we got a guest. Jay.
Jay, the mother loving stingray.
Heard you guys talking about smoking and had to get on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Crack Rock just asked me if they've banned Delta 8 in Kentucky already. They kind of did. But the place that I buy it at doesn't know that yet, and I'm not telling them.
What's Delta 8? What's that?
It is federally legalized THC.
Oh,
It's about 67% potency of the what you're used to in Delta 9. And it's fantastic.
sweet.
And Kentucky's trying to take it away from me.
Bad. They just legalized here for recreation.
I know, as it needs to be everywhere.
Yes.
We've
it's,
got legal medicinal now. That's a step in the right direction.
Dude, I'll take medicinal. I'll
That's-
get I'll tell people I have glaucoma.
That's the beginning, though, you guys. If you get your state to do that, eventually, I mean, it took a while, but it did eventually go recreational here.
it'll
I think we'll
never
go
happen.
national. We'll go national sometime soon, I think.
It'll
you're
never
allowed to
happen
have
here.
what is it, 3 ounces per person in a household, or
That's not
6
enough.
plants or something like that.
What if it's a Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would take me half a year to smoke 3 ounces of weed all by myself.
First time I ever bought weed, I bought an ounce because I was unaware of how much an ounce of weed was, but it didn't sound like much. And then I had to pay the guy. I was like, my
I
God,
used to
weed's
go-
expensive.
I used to go to the Pizza Hut like 3 towns over because that's the only place we knew to get it. There was a guy there. We probably paid way too much for what we got, but
Like just
it
this-
works. It
The
works.
places I would go to get, like I remember like just
Oh.
rolling up and just nothing. There's anything wrong with this, but just like the scariest trailer park I've ever been into. You remember in Kentucky, we don't have the hood; we have rough trailer
Yeah.
parks. That's where I would go get mine.
I'm an old trailer park girl, for reals.
Oh well, I mean, me too. But there were
I was
scary
the
ones.
queen of the trailer park.
There were scary ones.
That's one of the reasons why I quit, years ago, was just because of the people you had to deal with.
Yes.
Like, that was a big part of it. And just the paranoia all the time,
When I was in college, there was a dealer like down the road from my house, and we just walk down the alley and we'd look up the window and we'd yell, "Oh Lord, speak to me." And he'd come out the window and go, "What can I get you, my child?" and then you'd have to tell him whatever it was, whatever it was you want. But we
That's out
said
of a
we wanted.
Tarantino movie.
Yeah, it is. It's cool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of weird and cool, but we'd go say that, and then he'd come down to the door and let us in, and we'd tell him we want 3 movies. We'd say movies. That was our code talk or chicken wings. Let's go get some chicken wings. That was our code talk for going and getting bags back then. Chicken wings and movies. Before
One of
the
my
days
old
of cell
dealers.
phones.
One of my old dealers was, you'd say, "Hey, what's up, man?" He'd be like, "I'm just sitting over here watching the grass grow, man." And that was code for, "Yep, I'm stocked up. Come on by."
It's
Throw
funny
out a
how
flag
everybody
and
has
push me
little
back
codes.
10 yards because I'm holding.
3 ounces on you and 6 plants in New York. Yeah, see, that's what I thought it was.
No, we're hanging people for that now.
6 plants, man. They're big plants. You can have a lot
Plants.
more than 3 ounces on
Oh.
there.
Man, growing it would be great too. It'd be so much fun.
And it's
Might
3
actually give me-
ounces.
Like I might even throw like some cucumbers next to it or something. Accidentally
Yeah.
garden. You
Is
know,
is
like,
that
I'm already
3
up
ounces
there.
dry or wet? What, you know?
3 ounces dry, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't really understand the differentiation between the 3 ounces that you have and then 6 plants, because
Why even have anything? Why does it matter at that point?
Yeah, I want
Who
all of it.
cares?
I have 98 plants, and that's okay
Yeah.
because I'm a free American who paid my taxes.
that's right.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not very good at growing things. Like, I kill everything that I try to grow. I
I feel like
can
I'd figure
nurture
it out.
people, but I am terrible with plants. Do not give me a plant. I will kill it.
I feel like I figure it out. Like since it's
That's-
giving me something so precious.
Growing that is actually what got me into gardening, honestly.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Learned a lot, a lot of trial and error. I could never get them to flower. I never got to that point, but I had some pretty big ones outside at one point on someone else's property.
That's funny. That's like the crap my husband always talks about doing.
How did that get there?
Yeah.
You ever roll up on random weed? You're like, I need to get out of here.
No.
Oh, I have like a couple times.
Wow.
You'll accidentally
start
wander up
freaking
into some-
out about Friday the 13th
Well,
style? Because that reminds me of the Friday the
It was
13th
before
remake.
then. It was way before that happened. But like down here, man, people just like they'll just like straight up throw them up in a field or something, like just to try to
Yeah.
blend in with stuff. And we'd be riding, 4-wheelers and stuff on the river, and you'd roll up into a big grow, and you're like, I'm gonna get out of here before whoever is.
'Cause, somebody's like guarding that thing.
Exactly, like before anybody knows I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't do it like all the time, but now that it's legal, it's so weird because you're used to it being like something risque you're not supposed to do, and now it's legal and you can do it, and
Yeah.
it's like it's so weird.
Oh, it
Like,
blows my mind.
like the first day we got on the golf cart and we drove up back and we sat up at the top of the hill looking over the lake and smoked our joint together, and we were like, hey, this is great, because nobody could say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
That would be so weird to me to be able to do it legally. I mean, I've never done it, but
Yeah,
was freaking out.
drugs are
alleged.
bad.
Yeah.
I was
I've,
freaking out
never
about the
partaken.
golfers, because there's golfers over there, just golfing, and I'm like, are they gonna freak out, But no, none of them could even see us.
I know
probably.
everything I know about marijuana from Seth Rogen movies. So
I heard he canceled James Franco today.
Oh, wow.
yeah. I don't know. I've gotten to where I don't like Seth Rogen anymore. Not that whatever. I don't know what James Franco did. I just don't like him.
Well, he's admitted it too, but he was sexually harassing young girls in a very bad way. He
Yeah.
made one girl he was working with. You know how when you do a nude scene, they have like this plastic
Mhm.
stuff that you have on your body so that you don't actually touch each other.
Mhm.
He made her take it off, and it was very uncomfortable for her. And she was a young girl, and so she came out and she told about it. And he's admitted a bunch of stuff, but for some reason, just today, Seth Rogen came out and said, I want nothing to do with him anymore. I refuse to work with him anymore. So I don't know what's really going on there, but
Yeah. Seth
there
Rogen's
must be
gotten really
something.
political lately.
Yes, and it's really turned me off.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be really, really funny.
He was.
Like Superbad and 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up. Oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
American Pickle, not so much.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of the new stuff, honestly.
I haven't seen a Seth Rogen movie since Pineapple Express, I don't think.
I love that movie.
I have a copy of that one. I like that too a lot.
Man, just linger all the time. He's a lingerer. That's a real dealer too. Like the guy who just wants to hang out and talk like way too much. Like that's a real guy.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what it used to be like in college.
It's like
They wanted to hang out.
I can't make friends, so I'm a dealer.
Yeah.
So like now I have friends that call me all the time.
Hey man, you want to hang? You could,
yeah.
You would grow magic mushrooms, Brian? Bring those over.
Mushrooms scare me, man.
Yeah.
That's what my headache medication's made out of.
Yeah, theoretically, I've done that too. I mean, I would never do it, but if I did, pretty tough.
I actually only ate shrooms twice, but I mean, if you count my medication, Imitrex is basically made out of magic mushrooms. So if you count that, I've taken quite a bit.
So you're like microdosing then?
Kind of, yeah. I don't take Imitrex anymore because for me it caused more trouble than it was worth. It made me feel unable to function and unable to even really get up out of bed. I mean, headaches do that to me anyway, but it's 10 times worse when you take a medication that's supposed to make you better, and it does take the pain away, but instead it makes you groggy and sick to your stomach and kind of feel like you want to die. So It really wasn't worth it for me. They're never going to find a cure for my headaches, and until they do, I'll just take Tylenol, even if it doesn't really work. I get cluster headaches. I don't know if you guys know what those are.
I think I've heard you say that before. I'm not familiar.
They're the worst kind of migraine you can get. They call them suicide headaches, and they're rare in women. So I always get the rare shit. Unfortunately.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
That's okay. She's so cute.
So, how much Twin Peaks talk have you done tonight?
About an hour's worth.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was on for about an hour, and I discussed I only watched one episode this time because it was so jam-packed full of stuff that I ended up having 3 pages of notes on one episode, and I had 3 pages of notes total for 2 last week. So I was like, well, I'm just going to do one episode this week. It was just too complex and too much in one sitting, so...
It's probably the best way to do it anyway, one episode at a time.
Yeah, but then if I do that, then it's going to take a lot longer than it should because, I mean, we're talking 18 episodes in season 2, 22 episodes in, I'm sorry, 22 episodes in season 2, 18 episodes in season 3, plus the movie, plus the missing pieces, which is just basically another movie.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to do missing pieces. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, I definitely will include that. I mean, that's got such stuff in it that it needs to be included. It's like a whole nother movie. And it gives you extra information, which I really, really like.
Are you planning on doing like Laura's Diary or anything?
That's funny that you just asked that because I was thinking I might actually do a reading of it. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal, and there's a lot of really hard stuff to verbalize in it. but I think I'm ballsy enough to do it. So I think I might actually get the book and actually do a reading of it. And I'll do that in between season 2 and the movie, probably.
Oh, cool. Yeah, reading the diary was really put everything in place for me. So I think it's really important that people read that if they are fans of the show.
Have you ever listened to the audiobook before on Audible?
I may have. That may be how I did it.
Cheryl Lee does the voice for the book now. I don't know if you heard that. I mean, before it wasn't like that. And then about maybe, 6 months before season 3 came out, she did a whole new version of it for Audible. And I listened to it, and it's fantastic because you're hearing Laura's voice, which really helps the immersion into the story.
I don't think I got the one with her doing the audio.
Dude, if you can get the updated one of her doing it, totally do that because it is fantastic. She's such a good actress. I always thought she should be in more stuff. It's part of why I love vampires so much because she does such a captivating job in that movie. She's so good.
Yes, she is.
She's beautiful. I'm going to be doing The Forsaken on Region Free Thursday night as part of my vampire western thing. I was going to add it in as my movies that don't get enough credit also, but after rewatching it, I decided I don't like that movie as much as I used to. So that's a shame. I guess some things that entertain you when you're younger don't necessarily entertain you the same way when you're older.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's very MTV-ish. I wouldn't be surprised to find out MTV produced it. Judging by the characters in it too, it's possible. So I like Kerr Smith though. He's good. He's a good actor. But he never really was in more than that in Final Destination. I don't remember him being in much more than that, and maybe Dawson's Creek, of course. That was funny when Piz had on, the other night when he did his show with Tara Reid and everybody. I was thinking about Joshua Jackson being in that movie and how they make that little Dawson's Creek joke in it by playing Paula Cole's "I Don't Want to Wait."
I don't think
I
even noticed that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh yeah, right when they get in the car, he tells her, "Come on, go with me, and I'll make you feel better," or whatever, like guys do. They macking on her, and I wrote in the chat, Pacey is macking on Kirsten Hayward from Twin Peaks because it's Pacey from Dawson's Creek macking on Kirsten Hayward from Twin Peaks. I just think that's funny. Little connection there. Brian, I'm up to 5. I did episode 5 tonight. I'll be doing episode 6 next week, possibly 6 and 7, depending on how full episode 6 is. Like this one, I planned on doing, 2 episodes, but it was just so much that too many notes, couldn't hack it. I should be watching these earlier in the week rather than doing them the day before.
Yeah.
Dawson's Creek is gangsta. I haven't seen that in forever. James Vanderbeek is a boss, though. I love that guy. Do you guys have you guys ever seen that one movie with him? What's the name of it?
Varsity Blues?
I love that one too. But no, not that one. The one where he plays Patrick Bateman's brother. Same author of the book.
Oh.
What is it
I
called?
don't think I'm aware of it.
No.
I didn't know they did another Patrick Bateman type movie.
Yes, he plays Patrick Bateman's little brother. His name is, what is his name in it?
All right, let's see here.
I can't think of it. It's got Shannon Sossaman,
Oh,
Jessica Biel.
Rules of Attraction.
Yes, that's it.
I thought of that on my own. No, Sean put it in the comments.
Oh. Oh, yes, I see that now. Yes, I love that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, Rules of Attraction, you gotta see it. It
Wow,
is
I did
fantastic.
not realize that was supposed to be Patrick Bateman's
I didn't either.
younger
I had no
brother.
idea.
He gets a phone call in his dorm and he answers it and he goes, and it's actually that one guy that has a crush on him. And then he goes, "Is this Patrick?" And I'm like, it didn't click to me the first 2-3 times I saw it. And then I realized, oh my God, he's talking about Patrick Bateman. His last name is Bateman. Oh my God, that's his brother that he talks about in the movie. So because I've read the book. I've read both books actually. If you guys haven't read, what's his name that wrote American Psycho?
Oh,
My brain just keeps going
Bret
blank.
Easton Ellis.
there
Yes.
you go. Yeah.
If you haven't read some of his other stuff, you should. They all kind of interconnect. I read Less Than Zero. It was so good. So
Mhm.
much better than the movie. Has so much more information in it. And it's Andrew McCarthy actually reading it, which is excellent.
That dude wrote the wow. He wrote the screenplay for you remember that Lindsay Lohan movie, The Canyons?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for that, so not everything is as good as American Psycho.
Yeah, not everything. that one is though that Rules of
I'm gonna
Engagement.
watch that one. That sounds really good.
It is super good. I think you're gonna love it. It jumps around in time a little bit. They have the end of the world party, which I love.
What
It's
else
cool.
has he got here? Yeah, he does some really crappy movie stuff.
Yeah, I fell in love with Less Than Zero when it came out in the 80s, and that's where I discovered him, and I was like, whoa, this guy's cool. When American Psycho came out, I was totally psyched.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an excellent movie, but is so tame compared to the book. I mean, really tame. And
Don't just
still,
stare at it, Sabrina.
I still don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know if he actually did all that or if he was just fantasizing about it in his little diary that he was writing. It still confuses me.
Oh, and John, by the way, I've got another movie on the way to you. It's just like lost somehow in the mail. So
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with Amazon lately, but
No, it's so cool. It's all good. I've got to watch that Roger. Is that a documentary?
mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks sick. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I'll
That's
be right
awesome.
back.
Cool. Yeah, I was trying to find some stuff I didn't think you'd seen.
Dude, you got it because I didn't know any of that. I was like, wow. Like, that's a hard feat right there, man. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely, man. Hopefully it can cheer you up a little bit.
I appreciate that, man. Did you see some of the crazy crap that Lauren sent me?
No.
Like, he right here. Like, pickle cotton candy.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
it's hilarious, man. I was going like fried.
You tasted it?
Right here. Yeah, most of it. Yeah, fried chicken candy.
Oh,
Yeah, I was cracking up the whole time, dude. This stuff is terrible. This tastes like chicken fat.
oh.
My kid loves these though. Mac and cheese candy.
Ugh.
She digs it. Pizza candy.
I can imagine that's not great.
Yeah. Spicy jalapeno cotton candy.
Oh man.
And these some Joe Biden's bananas cotton candy. Oh, and the possum.
Possum flavored?
No. It's like a little possum on wheels.
Oh, okay.
My husband has been playing South Park Stick of Truth all day. Literally. He's going to get through the whole game in one day, I think.
Yeah, I haven't played that game since it came out. Like, God, it's been a while.
My son got it for me for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That was his Mother's Day present to me.
That's awesome.
a game that's gonna name me, fag or something.
It's like a mage and like dwarf or whatever, and then it's like Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Earlier
is
I
that-
walked out there and he was being anal probed, and I was like, "What in the hell? Holy shit!"
Sounds about right.
is
I
that
can't
the
wait to play
sequel
it.
to the Fractured But Whole?
No, it's the prequel to it.
Prequel.
I'll be getting the Fractured But Whole probably for my birthday. I'm guessing.
If you're lucky, right?
Hey, you know what shows your mom more love than buying her a game like that, right?
The Fractured Butthole.
And that's an awesome name.
It is. I love my kid. I was just gonna show you guys. I was talking about. I got this copy.
I didn't know there were more of those.
Yeah, my husband found this at a like a secondhand shop place.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen it before, and I already have these movies, but I didn't care because I've never seen anything so cool. Like, these discs look awesome. They have pictures. They're not just plain.
Oh, yeah.
The Pet Cemetery has the coolest like writing on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, you got one too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't realize there were multiple volumes of these.
Yeah, somebody else has one of these too that has different movies, and I'm trying to think of who it was that I saw with it. It might have been Christian, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, these are cool because I got it for Orca and Congo. I love Congo.
Yeah.
I love Congo too. People are making fun of me for liking that movie.
I love that movie.
I do too.
I remember renting it on pay-per-view back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about pay-per-view. Holy crap.
I hadn't even opened this yet, Jamie. So
We went and watched it, and then I went to Taco Bell afterward and got the volcano burritos that were promotions for the movie.
Yum. I'm trying so hard to stay away from fast food. I cheated for way too long. The whole time COVID's been going on, I've been cheating on my diet, and I've been eating McDonald's, and it's bad, and Taco Bell, and it's bad.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have been doing it, and I'm absolutely positive that it has contributed to my disease coming back. So I'm trying to go back to the way I was eating before.
Yeah.
And my body doesn't like it.
Yeah. I've been trying to diet lately, trying to cut out carbs, and I had a cheat day on Friday, and I basically ate as much garbage as I possibly could, and I've gained 4 pounds back. So that's awesome.
Yeah, see, it's hard. You get used to a certain amount of sugar in your diet, and a certain amount of caffeine, and a certain amount of, whatever it is that you like. And when you try to cut it out just cold turkey, your body just says no.
Once I got over crashing from the lack of carbs, and I got over that, it's been good. Man, that first week, I remember Friday, I was in such a bad mood. I was so pissed off all day long.
Yeah, I've been going through that too. That, and because they're changing my medication around, it's also affecting my moods. But stopping eating, French fries from McDonald's and stuff it's made me moody. Yeah. But I can tell you that if you switch to things like, I eat a lot of peppers, especially red peppers, because red peppers, the chemicals in them actually promote better moods, and they have natural sugar in them, so it's better for you than like carbs. It still has some sugar in it for your fuel, but it's not the bad kind of sugar. And it also is full of antioxidants, and it's full of vitamin C, and it's got and vitamin K, and they're really good for you. I that's what I switched to mostly now, is like I eat a lot of grilled peppers and grilled mushrooms, steak and asparagus, and I'm staying away from bread. I'm staying away from most carbohydrates. I don't eat cheese, and I found out the other day that I can't handle butter either.
Really?
Butter gives me a horrible, horrible stomach ache. I got chicken wings, lemon pepper chicken wings. I love lemon pepper chicken. And I thought that it was going to be okay. I didn't realize how much butter they put in these things. And I had a stomach ache for 3 days. It was horrible.
Wow.
So I guess butter is out of the picture too. So I'm going to have to stop eating that. I'm just going to eliminate everything my body says is icky. And then
Yeah.
I know eventually I'll start to lose the weight I gained back again.
Hmm.
I have gained about 10 pounds back. I was down to 107 at one point, and now I'm up to 117. So it's kind of depressing for me, because once I start getting up to that point, that's when my illness starts to come into play. I don't like that.
Yeah. So that's better if you lose the weight.
It is. It keeps my metabolism running quicker, and this disease of mine, it slows it down, and it depletes my body of nutrients that normally people are getting, from other ways. My body just doesn't. It depletes it. So I have a serious iron deficiency, and that's why my body's always like, eat red meat. And so I love steak. I eat tons of steak, and I grill it, which is better for you, to be honest. Twin Peaks is awesome, Christian. Hi, Christian. You want to come on? I'll post a link in the chat.
Yeah, it's funny. As I've gotten older, I don't like steak as much. I used to love steak. I mean, I still eat steak, but like even if I have the choice, I usually get chicken instead.
I've been eating a lot of barbecue chicken lately, because right now it's the time of year when all the barbecue places are doing their chicken barbecues and stuff. So I've been eating a lot of that, but I still do mostly stick to red meat. I do love a burger here and there, but I'm very rare with those because of the bread.
Right.
I have to stay away from bread and grains or anything with gluten. Gluten is an agitator for me, and so I don't eat a lot of gluten anymore. And I definitely feel better when I don't eat that crap.
Right.
I'll feel a lot better once I get to a point where I got all the McDonald's out of my system. And I'm going to blame Orc for that. Orkin is talking about junk food and McDonald's got me going.
Yeah.
It really did.
He'll do that to you with his McDonald's talk.
Yes. Oh, he's always asking everybody, what fast food do you like? And I'm like, damn it. It's like dangling a steak in front of my face. Oh yeah, Christian, I haven't been talking about Twin Peaks now for a good hour. Through the beginning of the show, I talked about episode 5, season 1, episode 5, and because that's all I watched this week, because it was a very packed episode full of a lot of stuff. So I figured I would just do one episode this week. So you can rewind it, and I don't know if you're watching along with me, but I hope you guys are.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start.
It's such a good show. I really love it. I know it's old, and it's kind of almost obsolete these days. I mean, because soap operas don't even barely exist anymore, and there's no reason to parody it. But I love it for all its quirkiness and the characters and David Lynch himself. The fact that he put himself in the show playing Gordon Cole is just fantastic. He's got the greatest talking voice. I just love that guy.
Yeah, I love that character too.
Yeah, Gordon Cole. He's a great character. I wonder what happened to Jonathan. Where are you, Jay? You're in Louisiana?
I'm in Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi. Cool.
Yeah.
water from my lake ends up in the Mississippi River
Ah,
and then ends up in the Gulf of Mexico.
mhm.
And it starts here. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But that's true. It's our lake is like the start, and then it goes into the Chattacoin. The Chattacoin goes into the Conewango. The Conewango goes into the Ohio. The Ohio flows into the Mississippi, and then down in the Gulf of Mexico. You could technically take a boat all the way down.
That's cool. I
Yeah,
love all those Native American names.
yeah. My lake is called Chautauqua Lake, and that means bag tied in the middle, which I think
Oh.
is really funny.
Bag tied in the middle.
Because of the shape of the lake.
Okay. I got you.
But see, because it's, when they named it, when they say bag, I think they're talking about like, intestines.
Okay.
Like, ew, it's gross. But that's what they have to mean, because I can't understand where else they get the idea of bag from. Bag tied in the middle. Most people, when I say that, make some kind of joke about balls. I think that's funny.
Yeah, I guess I missed my opportunity on that one.
Oh yes, I was wondering if you were going to make a ball joke. I think Corny would have. Have I seen Have I seen Possessor? I have not. Is that a newer movie?
2020.
Is that the one by Cronenberg's son?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. That's on my list. I need to watch that one.
It's good.
Yeah, everybody says it is. I don't even know even one little tiny iota what it's about. So
Mhm.
I'll be going in completely blind.
That's probably for the best. It's one I need to watch again. I was going to watch it again because I liked it so much, but I never got around to it. But I need to watch it again.
Seems like my internet's been acting a lot better tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple shows, my internet has been just terrible. And I've been getting like little signals that tell me that the signal's low.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight I only got them at the beginning of the show, and I haven't had any since then. So that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
I was getting ready to call up my cable company and start screaming at them for cutting my internet down, because I don't trust them, because they already got in trouble for doing such a thing. Spectrum.
Like slowing your speed down or something?
Yes, they were selling high-speed internet to people and then not giving them high-speed internet. Wow. And they got caught. And I don't want that to happen to me. Oh, Jonathan disappeared. He must have had to go. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night too. It's I've been going for 2 hours, and I like to keep these down around 2 hours when I can. So
cool.
Thanks for coming on, and thanks, Jonathan. I don't know if you're still watching, but thanks for coming on. I appreciate that big time. And
good to talk with you. I'll see you on Thursday.
Yep, I will see you Thursday. Have a good night.
Good night.
We'll see y'all later, and we'll see you next week for another Twin Peaks Tuesday. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next week. Bye.